Oh, thank you. Did everybody who did their annotated reading get a chance to sign in? Again, this is you on the honor system being honest about your homework. If you didn't do it, I would strongly encourage you to. Go ahead after class, download the text and fill it in based on the notes that you take today and based on your own reading of it. It's an important document to understand. Does everybody have the handout? So I'd encourage you to take notes into this handout. There will be a quiz on it, a really short quiz on it at the end of today's lecture. But there are ideas and terms and concepts in there that will help us as we move forward with our study of religion throughout the semester, and things that could appear on your final written exam. Thank you. It may be fair to say that there are kind of two main ways of studying religions, like when you get into the deep study of a religion: sociological and theological. The interfaith leadership model can work with either of these. So it doesn't have to go into a box. But I want to throw these models out there to you as a way of understanding the Nostra Aetate document, which is theological. But let's start with this. The sociological method of viewing religions is kind of like you're an outsider looking in. So I like to draw. So if this is a religion, we think about it as a phenomenon, something real in the world that people can study, and the researcher stands outside of it and studies it. Kind of like a biologist would study gray whales, right? Or dolphins, or sea urchins, or bugs. You don't have to be a religious person to study religions and take them seriously. That's the main focus here. So the sociologist does not have to be religious. You do not have to agree with what you're studying. Does that make sense? This method was originated by a French sociologist whose name you should know, Émile Durkheim. He published, if I'm not mistaken, in the early 1900s, and his studies were focused on the indigenous peoples of Australia. But he observed that many people in today's modern Western industrialized world, partly because science and technology have gained so much explanatory power, and they seem to fly in the face of religion, many people in today's modern Western industrialized world are rejecting religion. They see religion as an illusion, like a bunch of myths that basically belong in the past and we don't need them anymore. So he was dealing with this sort of modern attitude toward religions and what they are. But what Durkheim was observing was that religion is an incredibly powerful form of culture even today. It is part of human culture. You don't have to believe in it to study it and take it seriously. So the sociological method is a way of studying religions where you don't have to believe in it to take it seriously as a powerful form of human society and culture. Durkheim's point was that what religions essentially do is they help to create and foster a sense of group identity. It is exactly the same thing as being a sports fan. Okay, who in here is a sports fan? Like you have a team you like really like. Kevin, who is it? What team? Cubs? Do you wear Cubs jerseys? Do you hate Sox fans? There it is. That's a religion right there. In a sociological sense, that's exactly what we were talking about. Religions are powerful forms of group identity that motivate people, give them a sense of who they are, and can shape the behavior of the group. We might call that morality. Religions tell people how to behave. They're very powerful. So, for example, if you get married in a church in front of 500 people who have all given you gifts, it is going to be far harder to divorce that person than if it's just you and your girlfriend or boyfriend in front of a justice of the peace, right? Because there's social pressure. Social pressure is practically the only thing that can hold a marriage together. Marriage is a very difficult life to choose. And if it's just you and that one other person making an individual commitment to each other, whew, that's a hard thing to hold together. But if it's you and that one other person and 500 other people in your family or your village or your community or your town who know you got married and expect you to stay together, the pressure is, okay, we're not going to split up over dirty socks left on the floor. We're going to work it out, right? So that's how religions function. They create a group identity and they tell people how to behave. They create social norms, or morality, if you want to call that. So the sociological method is just a way of looking at religions as part of human society and a very powerful form of human culture. The sociologist, of course, can study and compare different religions. So this is how I like to think of sociology. Theology is the flip side. So drawing a picture, where would you put the theologian?
In the circle.
In the circle, right. So if you're a theologian, you're a religious person, and you're studying your own religion. But that doesn't mean you leave your brain at the door. It means you ask questions. Who is God? Why do we think God is real? Why do we believe in a Bible? Why should we read a 2,000-year-old book and think it has some sort of authority? So the job of the theologian is to study one's own religion and ask questions. But one can, of course, study other religions as well and ask the same truth questions. How is Hinduism similar to or different from my beliefs? Is anything in Hinduism true? So the theologian will ask truth questions. Is there a God? The sociologist does not ask those questions. It's irrelevant. The sociologist does not ask which religion is the right one. That would be like asking which polar bear is the right one. The question makes no sense for a biologist. So a sociologist is not asking which religion is the right one, but the theologian is. Because we're seeking truth and we're seeking to make a faith commitment. So you are free to take either approach in your study of your different religions and to apply those models as you wish. But what's important to realize that today we're dealing with a theological perspective that's asking about the truths that can be found in various religions. And in particular, it's a perspective that's coming from within Catholicism. I want to stress that you do not have to agree with Nostra Aetate. Just understand what's being said. And maybe use it as a sounding board for your own approach. You may decide you like the way the Catholic Church approaches the concept of religious diversity. You may decide that it's not going to work for you. Let's take a look at a few more things in the handout. Let's take a break and get ourselves into the text of the document itself. So today's topic is theological. This is the first actually theological thing we're doing in the whole course. It's a theology course, and this is the first day we're actually going to do theology. A point about terminology. We've got to use words carefully. So when we use the word religion, at least for the purposes of this course, we need to be very clear what it is we're talking about. Religions are faith communities that have completely different historical origins. So a religion is like a community of people that exists across time and space. So Christianity, Judaism, Islam, Hinduism, indigenous religions, Taoism, Buddhism, those are different because they took their origins in completely different times and places. Some of them are related. Hinduism and Buddhism are related to each other. Okay? Catholicism is part of Christianity. Like fruit, or bananas are a kind of fruit. So these are different religions. When people from different religions talk to each other, this is an important term for you to learn. We call that interreligious dialogue. Put that into your handout if it's not there. We call it interreligious dialogue. And this is an activity that's going on formally all over the world today. I myself, for several years, was part of the Midwest Muslim Catholic dialogue. So when people from different religions talk to each other, the goal is understanding and shared values, as our online lessons would say. Understanding and shared values. It's not to gloss over differences, but it's to understand. The goal is not to convert each other. So if I'm engaging in interreligious dialogue with someone who's a Buddhist, my goal is not to persuade that person to become Christian, God forbid. My goal is just to understand, mutual understanding. And the goal is not to take all the religions and dissolve them into one. The people who are the most serious about this form of dialogue are the people who would never dream of doing that. It's just to bring about understanding. It's not to try to take, let's take all the religions and boil them down into just one religion. That's not what it's about. On the flip side, however, there are denominations. Every religion that's been around for a while has split into different denominations. Happens all the time. It keeps happening. So within Christianity, my husband likes to joke. He says, what are the two things God doesn't know? What are the two things God doesn't know? How many things are in a woman's purse? And how many Christian denominations there are? Like, there are hundreds, right? So you've got your storefront churches. You've got your big, huge evangelical mega churches in Texas. There are so many. But these are splits within one religion, Christianity. And that's really important to be aware of, even if they seem wildly different. And every religion has their splits. In Islam, there's Sunni and Shia. And oftentimes there's conflict and violence among these people. When people from different denominations within a religion, at least within Christianity, talk to each other, this is called ecumenical dialogue. Put it into your notes if it's not in there. Not all of this is in the handout, so be writing it in.
Can you repeat that?
Ecumenical dialogue. The words at the top of the slide. Ecumenical. Ecumenical literally means something like household management or worldwide coordination of something. So ecumenical dialogue. Again, this is when people from, bless you, different denominations talk to each other. The goal is understanding what? Within Christianity, the goal is also unity. We want to try to come back together into one. The splits are a scandal. They're awful. We don't want to be split up like this. And some churches are slowly and gradually starting to do this. Lutherans and Methodists, for example, certain portions of those denominations had an intercommunion agreement. So a Methodist could go to a Lutheran church for a Sunday service and receive communion, and vice versa. That is a big deal for Christians, to share in each other's rituals. So slowly but surely, the divided churches that have been divided for hundreds of years are moving toward unity, and that's the purpose of ecumenical dialogue. This is all just terminology, but it's important. Let's take a break, come back at 11, and we'll launch into a discussion of the text itself and see how far we get today.
I have a question.
Yes,